You're looking at the video title thinking, what are you on about, Dimsy? But let me tell you something, yeah? There is something very specific that's killed Yugioh. Now, before I tell you what it is, please comment down below. What do you reckon killed Yugioh? I want a lot of interaction on this video, so please entertain me and help me out. Give me a proper discussion down below, and please be respectful. We're going to be civil about this, but if I were to tell you that something killed Yugioh and you ask me, what is it? Well, we killed Yugioh. No. You killed Yugioh. No, whoa. What do you mean I killed Yugioh? Let me explain. And this is quite a multifaceted little argument or discussion. And please try and understand from various points of view. And again, I encourage you to comment down below. Tell me all your points. But long story short, the viewer base who watched the anime and the player base who played the card game have collectively killed Yu-Gi-Oh! On both ends of this spectrum for this franchise in terms of playing and watching the anime. Now, what are you on about? Let's start with the anime first. Fundamentally, when Yu-Gi-Oh! First aired, there was a core group who watched it. Now, for the people who watched it in the West, we watched it dubbed, and it can be agreed that it was a completely different show due to the censorship, but that's a video, that's a discussion for another day. A lot of people started watching Duel Monsters and they were very skeptical when GX came round. Myself, from Dawn of the Duel to GX, I was like, whoa, this has gone a little bit too lighthearted, isn't it? Jaden's a little bit too chirpy and happy, isn't he? And that probably did turn off a lot of people, but people still soldiered on. And as the seasons progressed, it got darker and more interesting, as most Yu-Gi-Oh! Series do. The choking point was when 5Ds came round. I lost interest at the end of GX, and when I saw 5Ds, and this is due to my ignorance, and I'm certain, speaking with many other people, their ignorance as well, they stopped after GX. Heck, they stopped after Duel Monsters. They're like, no, mate, I watched the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Not this motorbike shit. And even myself, I was like, nah, man, motorbikes, come on, get a grip. It took me a while. It took me many years. Honestly, I feel ashamed, in all honesty. I said honesty a few times. My mate had to tell me, no, check it out, Dimsy. Just check this out. And when I did check it out, by God, was I wrong. 5Ds was a blessing. 5Ds was something else. It changed the game. And fundamentally, that's when I started to appreciate, actually, the story's getting better. But too many people tuned out. Too many people stopped watching Yu-Gi-Oh! After the first series. And what does that do? That leaves a lot of people watching and judging the series going forward with some nostalgia lens, and judging people who are still persevering and watching the newer and latter iterations of this Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And that's stupid. But at the same time, you need to understand that there's a lot of people that you probably know, or at a certain time, even if it's a different series, you could have been that person. I know I was looking at my mate thinking, why are you watching this bullshit thing on him on motorcycles with a white card? Synchro what? As they say in Bonds Beyond Time, synchro what? It's something, look, I can promise, I can guarantee you know someone, especially if you're watching this video, you know someone that says, oh no, I stopped watching Yu-Gi-Oh! After the first series. Oh no, Yu-Gi-Oh's never been the same again since they introduced all that synchro nonsense. No, I stopped after GX. Point is, you have a lot of people who detracted from the series, and there's nothing wrong with that. They got their own priorities. They can do whatever they want. But the problem lies is that there's a bunch of people who, even though they detracted from the series, they want to try their absolute best to stop others getting into the series, or they just, even if it's an offhanded comment, they just always say, nah, that's shit. Nah, after original is shit. It's this, it's that. How do you know? You didn't try it. Okay, you tried probably one episode. Probably you didn't even check out a full arc, but even if you did, okay, whatever, you're entitled to your opinion, but there's too many opinions and judgment calls out there without truly trying things out. The problem with that is it bled into the community, the wider anime community. Remember, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is quite an old school anime. It's for a lot of people, their gateway anime, or something that they were exposed to, like Pokemon. They didn't know it was an anime. They thought it was a cartoon, but it was an anime. Now, someone's opinions or these fringe opinions of people who don't even watch anime anymore shouldn't really matter, right? Kind of does, because it kind of combines with everything else. A lot of people, myself included, started playing the game. We started playing the game extremely bloody early when the card game was in its infancy, and when they introduced synchros or when they introduced exceeds, pendulums, it became infinitely more difficult, but at the same time competitive. And to be honest, it is arguably way more fun than it was before. I will go into more detail regarding the card game in a bit, I promise you. Let me just finish up with the anime. Point is, when you had Zexal, when you had Arc 5, look, I personally hated Zexal purely because of the main character. I hated Yuma. I hated him. He was a terrible protagonist. However, Zexal gave probably, and no, arguably the best arc in the whole Yu-Gi-Oh franchise with the Baryon arc. Arc 5, it's quite, people look at it quite distastefully. I personally loved it, and I will go on record and say I will die on this hill. Arc V was a bloody good show. We could talk about this another day, another time. Yu-Gi-Oh! In terms of the TCG, it was flourishing with Master Rule 3 and 4. And even before that, it was a very simple game. It was a very easy game. You know, the early days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Was simple. You summon an Opticlops, 1800 attack, normal monster, you pass turn. It was a simple game, it was an easy game. With the introduction of 5Ds, thus introducing synchros, with the introduction of Xyz monsters through Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, Pendulum monsters through Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, it became a more difficult, complex game, and the wall to overcome for new players became more and more higher. It wasn't as beginner friendly, and that was something that the TCG players were still harboring. They weren't allowing it to be an easy game. To be honest, why would they? Why on earth would they? You're looking to win packs, you're looking to win tournaments, you're not looking to intentionally play a shitter, a crapper deck, a subpar deck, just so that it's more beginner friendly. There is a dickhead out there who'll always play the best deck no matter who he's playing or she's playing. They'll play a kid who's like 8 years old playing a bloody Dark Magician deck, and they'll still completely destroy them without any mercy. And I've seen that so many times before. Look, the thing was, the anime fans, a lot of anime fans refused to progress with the game, with the anime itself. Post Duel Monsters, heck, post GX, they're like, nah, I'm not gonna give this a chance. And a lot of players and competitive players refused to progress past when the synchro era was ushered in. They're like, nah, this is too complicated. Very similar mindset, but in two different facets of the game, be it the anime and be it the card game. No, two different facets of the franchise, the game and the anime itself. So you had detractors on both ends, and they were somewhat, I don't know, they were discouraging other people to try it out, giving their bullshit opinions. But look, that's not to say that, oh, it's their fault. I'm sorry, if you're influenced by people who have those kind of opinions, it is mainly your fault. It is all your fault. You're not obliged to listen or forced to do exactly what other people tell you. But my main points are, from the anime, it was degrading from GX onwards in terms of the fan base, and especially the same with the TCG from 5Ds onwards. The problem was we had a lot of players, and this is my opinion from playing the game for the last, God knows, 10 years or so. There's a lot of people who play decks and they don't put no love or true heart into their decks. It sounds really corny, doesn't it? But when I see someone playing their deck, a lot of the time, you can identify who truly enjoys, who truly put their all, their personality within their deck, and you can see who just bought their deck. The issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is it's a very lucrative, but at the same time, very expensive game to play competitively. A person can go and buy the best cards and just then be the best, in contention to be one of the best players. They still need to learn the combos, still need to learn timing, still need to learn the art of bluffing, but that can be learned. Whereas when you get the deck, there is a paywall. There's a giant paywall that separates a lot of the decks. Now, Konami in recent years have made giant strides to kind of eliminate the tier 0 format. There's not one or two decks that are completely dominating the format. There's quite a few. They're trying to make it so there's 4 to 6, hopefully more, 8 plus. Who knows how many there will be in the future. They're trying to make it more accessible for players to truly flourish in the tournament scene. But at this current stage, and it seems like it won't change, there is a paywall. You can buy the best decks, you can buy the best cards. There's certain cards that will change the format, shape the format, and because of that, it's very, very, very unfriendly, non-friendly. It's very difficult for beginners to really get into the game. So I don't think that the TCG is replenishing its user base, its player base as often as it should. It really isn't attracting a lot of new players to the game. You kind of, look, this is for kids. Let's not even beat around the bush. This was supposed to be for kids. That doesn't mean that adults can't play it, but kids are gonna find it very difficult playing this game, and they're gonna really struggle playing the game. And in terms of the anime, it is for kids. So the adults, the teenagers, the people who grew up with the older series need to understand the series isn't for them anymore. They're not the target audience. It is shonen, young boys, to get them and entice them with the game. If not the game, to buy the manga or to buy toys. That's what anime is all about, to sell toys. And we just need to understand that. That's what killed Yu-Gi-Oh! Fundamentally, it's what killed Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, there is going to be another video, is Yu-Gi-Oh! Dead? That is something which I'm sure all of you are going to love, and that's why I said, please comment down below. Don't be too fast to voice your criticism. I promise I will address that in the very, very, very near future. The anime audience is normally replenished every 3 years, and the target audience is replenished every 4th series or 3rd series of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, due to the fact that, look, each series lasts around 2 to 3 years. So by the time the 3rd series finishes, it's been almost 8 to 9 years. So it's due a complete refresh. People who started at 10 are now 18. They might think about other things instead of watching a children's card game show. Someone saving the world by playing a card game from impending doom and evil. We need to understand and be mature. And that's the reason why I said, even though I don't like the way Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's looks, we need to be mature and understand that maybe it's not for me. Maybe it's really not for me. And I done a video voicing my thoughts in detail. If you check out the playlist, if you check out the videos down below linked, so that would be extremely appreciated. So again, I want it to be extremely interactive. Comment down below, tell me your thoughts. There's a Facebook page, comment there. I'll link them all down below, but the next video is going to be whether Yu-Gi-Oh! Is dead. Is Yu-Gi-Oh! Dead? I'll see you there. You may now exit Dimsy's domain. Thank you and goodbye.